Hello and welcome to Theatre Philadelphia, the podcast, or TPTP for short. My name is CJ Higgins, and I am the Director of Operations and Programming for Theatre Philadelphia, which is currently hosting the 2026 Philly Theater Week, a 10-day festival offering pay-what-you-can tickets to nearly 50 theatrical events in the greater Philadelphia area. Philly Theater Week runs from April 3rd to May 3rd, and you can learn more and get tickets at www.phillytheaterweek.com. Joining me today are members of the team behind one of those shows, Spring Sing, presented by Love City Cabaret, an all-volunteer musical theater ensemble. That's a phrase. Musical theater ensemble established in 2023 for the purpose of raising funds for local nonprofits. Join the Love City Cabaret on May 2nd at Salbona Creativity Project for a musical bouquet of selections that conjure the spring. They'll have a set list of sprightly blooming melodies that help us all welcome the better weather. Please join me in welcoming to the podcast Kim Rouse and Kate Dawson. Hello, you two.
Hey, CJ. Thanks for
Hello.
having us.
Of course, I just wanted to say first that Love City's rendition, the performance that y'all gave at the Raise Your Voice preview event last week, was just absolutely beautiful. I just wanted to first shout that out because it was just this lovely rendition of I Can't Help Falling in Love with You. It was really well blended. There was accompaniment on a grand piano. It was just absolutely lovely. I was just sitting there like, wow, everybody sounds great. So I just wanted to just first tip my hat for that.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. What songs can folks expect to hear for this spring themed show?
Oh, this is going to be a really fun mix. I'm really excited about it. So, the I Can't Help Falling in Love with You is going to make a bit of a comeback in
Right.
that show. We are also featuring a song from Next to Normal, Light. Got a little Wicked in there. We've got a little bit of Once from Falling
Mm.
Slowly from Once in there. It's a really fun mix of some upbeat, some mid-tempo, a little bit of the golden age with a good bit of the modern era of musicals as well.
That's wonderful. How do y'all choose what songs you're going to perform for a given gig, a performance?
Good, Kate.
Yeah, that's a great question. So for this show, we are using some of our recent favorites, but normally for our longer productions, we like to pick a theme and we have a pitch sheet. We have a running pitch sheet actually that we keep in a Google Doc. And at the beginning of every rehearsal period, when we know we have a show coming up, we start by asking all of our members to tell us their 3 dreams. And so everyone gets a
Oh,
chance to pitch 3 dream songs that are relevant to the theme, and we kind of go from there. We try to do a balance of solos and full ensembles and duos and trios. And since Kim is our music director, she should feel free to weigh in if I'm forgetting any important part of the selection process. But of course, the dream part is the most memorable.
Yeah. And then we start the really fun part of finding sheet music for most of it and making sure our accompanist is really comfortable with the sheet music. And it goes through a couple of rounds before we end up with our final show. But it's really exciting. We always get, you can pick a dream solo or you can pitch a dream group number. And we do our best to give everybody at least one dream for each show.
well, now I kind of feel like I have to ask, like, what our dream. You don't have to list all 3 that you may have pitched for this one, but like, what are some dream songs for both of you?
That's a good one. So I've been really lucky. We've gotten to do a lot of mine. And one of my absolute dreams for the group to do was You Will Be Found from Dear Evan
Mm.
Hansen, because it's such a beautiful song. And we were fortunate enough to be able to do it. And it's kind of one we just keep in the back pocket now because it's beautiful no matter the circumstance or what show you're doing it for. And then I got to do a dream solo a couple shows ago, which was I'm Here from the Color Purple. And that song
It was
really
amazing.
That song literally makes me sob every time, so I'm sure you did an excellent job.
It's so incredible, and it was a dream come true to even get to do it.
Yeah. I most recently listened to the Color Purple soundtrack all the way through when I was doing a show in Delaware, which is like a pretty long drive there and back. So I
Yeah.
was doing a lot of like, let me listen to some like old classics, like some musical theater albums that I only listened to like bits and pieces of. Like let me listen all the way. I pulled up to a combination Taco Bell and Pizza Hut to get food during the
It's incredible. It's such beautiful music.
so what are some of your dreams, Kate?
I also got to do a dream recently, and I think I get to sing it again at the
You
Spring
do.
Sing, which is
Oh,
Somewhere That's Green. Yeah, Somewhere That's Green
yeah.
from Little Shop, which is actually, I guess, kind of a low key dream because I had sung it before. I played Audrey once in high school, but it was a dream to sing it again. Uh, and yeah, I'm so excited to have fun with that little comic bit again.
Yeah.
Trying to think of some other dreams. I think also once, which will that song from Once Falling Slowly, I get to bring out my acoustic guitar, and so that's a fun little break from the rest of the piano accompaniment, and it's one of my favorite shows. So yeah, but if you want to hear Kim Slay some of her dreams, you can find us on YouTube, just for any listeners who are
Mhm.
interested. We do have our full show recordings on YouTube
Good to
if you
know.
feel
Good
so
to know.
compelled. Yeah.
That's awesome. I was so excited to like learn more about Love City Cabaret and hear specifically that your organization raises funds for local nonprofits. I would love to hear both if you have a lucky benefactor in mind for this event, as well as like some organizations that you've raised funds for in the past.
Yes, absolutely. So this show, we do not have a benefactor yet. I think we are thinking of putting a little bit away for our rainy day fund. We do
Of
have
course.
costs to cover with our accompanist, and
Yeah.
we like to buy food for the cast when we can. But our last show, our sort of main stage production at SideQuest Theater Company, was in collaboration with Broad Street Love. And I'm pulling up our record now, but I do believe we were able to donate $325 to Broad Street Love. I think the biggest donation, I was just going over these numbers today, and I think the biggest donation we were able to make was back in 2024. We did a show, our first Cabaret. I actually wasn't in that show. So hopefully it's not hopefully I'm not bad luck for the group that we
You're
raised the
not at
most
all.
money when I wasn't there. But apparently we raised $570 for Phil Abundance during that show, which is great. We've worked with Philly Paws, Galay, Puerta Abierta, Emerald Street Community Farm. And yeah, so we love giving back.
That's wonderful. I just love that that is a specific goal for your organization. And like, I feel like generally speaking, like, I feel like Love City stands out for having like such clear and specific goals for like what you're trying to do. I would love to hear more about how Love City Cabaret got started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was the brainchild of Sammy Kayola and her coworker slash amazing friend Sam Searles. Philly didn't have a whole lot of community theater
Mm,
available unless you went like, way out to the suburbs.
yeah.
We and all of us just we wanted to do more musical theater. We wanted that back up in our lives. And I don't know about you, Kate, but I just randomly stumbled upon the audition page in a Facebook group, and I was like, this seems
Yes.
kind of cool.
Hmm.
And so 3 years ago, we all showed up at auditions for the same reason, wanting to get back into theater in whatever form we could find it again.
Mhm.
And it's been 3 years now that, of course, we've all been together, and it's been a really interesting journey together just to see what this has grown into. We always knew it was going to be volunteer. We always knew we were going to be raising money, but I don't know if I foresaw just how close we would become as a group. Like I didn't imagine we would be as much friends as we really are now
Mm.
after 3 years of really being in this together.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That's so true. Like I could not have I mean, first of all, right, you find a cute graphic on
Yeah.
Facebook that's calling for some, low-key auditions and you say, okay, and you don't know that like 3 years from now you're gonna have a nice core group of friends that you get to perform with like 4 times a year, and see almost every week. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's really special.
I feel like I often have to fill non-theater folks in on the fact that like when you're working on like a particular show, for example,
Yeah.
you get cast, you're put in the same room as a
Yep.
couple of other random people. And then you rehearse for anywhere from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, and then you put on the show, and then it's done, and then you go your separate ways, and it feels like
Yeah.
you build this sort of like mini
Yeah.
family, mini community within that very short time frame. So I am so delighted to hear, though not surprised terribly, that that 3 years of that process with like at least a similar pool of people have produced results like that. That's really lovely to hear.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like there's always so much conversation about what the role of community theater is, and specifically in the context of Philadelphia, it kind of feels like, and like obviously there are several exceptions here, but I feel like the larger mentality is like community theater belongs to suburbs. If you're going to produce something in like the city and proper, then
Yeah.
it's the expectation is that it is like professional theater with like
Right.
professional rates, et cetera, like
Yep.
professional budget, what have you. And like obviously there is a place for that. Artists need to work. It is a job, but also I feel that there is always going to be space for community theater as long as theater is something that people just enjoy doing outside of the concept of employment.
Yeah.
Like
That
Absolutely.
and
people
that's
want to
kind of
do this
where
for
we are.
fun.
Yeah, and that's where we are.
Mhm.
We show up, we do this for fun, and we pick songs that are, lightly tied together with a theme. They revolve around something similar, and we get to just make music and have fun together and like grow as musicians and grow as theater people. And yeah, maybe one day we'd do a full show, but right now it's nice to get together and decide on music together and learn it and put on really fun shows.
Yeah. And I do think it's, I guess worth noting that because we rehearse, on a weekly basis, but it's not like ultra strict and it's not super frequent. Some of our members do still have the time to do like full shows. A lot of them do. And they're simultaneously performing in full length productions, or they're, have aspirations. One of our younger members definitely has aspirations to like, you know, go out and make it big. And I believe she will. But
Yeah.
so it's cool to have that mix of theater types, right? People who are working on theater as their profession, who do it sort of almost full time. And then a lot of us are also just working professionals who, yeah, do something completely different from
Yeah.
9 to 5 and want a place to come together and have that, yeah, theater kid, choir kid time together to learn music. And it's great.
Yeah. And like the space to just be able to do art because it is a human function that we
Yep.
like is extremely important, I feel.
Agreed.
Speaking of
Absolutely.
members, I heard rumors at the preview event that Love City Cabaret is seeking more baritones and basses. Is that correct? Is
Yes.
that
Yeah,
search ongoing? Do you want
pretty
to
much.
you want to pitch to any baritones and basses who may be listening
Yeah.
to this podcast?
Absolutely. We need you, please. As most singing groups are, we are top heavy, and we would love to really work on filling out our lower register. We've got a couple people right now who are absolutely stellar. They're really holding it down, and we would
Just
love
gotta
some
yell.
we would love to have you. We are still accepting auditions. You can send them in via video to our emails, lovecitycabaret@gmail.com. Just 32 bars of two opposing styles of musical selections, and we will get back to you as soon as we can once we have kind of combed through all of them. We are very much still accepting auditions. We do need you.
Mhm. Please.
Beautiful, beautiful. And speaking of pitching, your events and stuff like that, you want to let our audiences know when they can hear Spring Sing and where, and I suppose any details that would be helpful for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are performing at the Sayubona Creativity Project for the Spring Sing on May 2nd. That's Saturday. I believe 5 p.m. is our start. Yes, Kim's nodding, so that's right. Okay, 5 p.m. start. It's going to run about an hour long. We're excited about this space because they do believe it's accessible. It's not super big, but tickets are on sale now. You can get your tickets, obviously, through Theatre Philadelphia. You can get them through our Instagram. You can find us on Instagram at Love City Cabaret. And we do have a show coming up after the Spring Sing. That will be on July 11th at the SideQuest Theater Company. And that's going to be a really fun show as well because it's a miscast cabaret.
Fun, oh fun. The classics, the classics.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
And for anybody who's a huge fan of my instrument, I'm actually, my company show is performing probably right after Spring Sing, because we have a
That's
performance
awesome.
at Salvona at 8 o'clock on the 2nd. So
Stick around, everybody.
Yes.
come marathon
Don't
stuff
leave.
on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
stick
please.
around.
Just stay right there. We'll get to you.
Absolutely. It's a great neighborhood to hang out in. The weather's going to be good. Get some great food, see some art. Yeah.
Yeah,
It'd be a good
that
day.
area, like the Passyunk,
Yeah.
it's just delightful to be around. And we've got a couple of different Philly Theater Week shows that are happening at Salvona Creativity
Nice.
Project. So, hang
Great.
out, go to a
Yes.
thrift store,
See
coffee.
another show.
Yes.
Kim and Kate, thank you so much for joining me. And thank you, listener/viewer. Again, you can check out www.phillytheaterweek.com in order to learn more and get tickets to all of the different shows that are happening during Philly Theater Week, including, but certainly not limited to, Spring Sing. Thanks so much.
Thanks,
Thanks, CJ.
Thanks, everyone.